And we're going to get going here. Starting for the tube. Say hi, tube.
What up, tube?
What's up?
All right. And last but certainly not least, you've already been given the rundown. You ready?
Oh, I'm set.
The rock and roll time.
Here we go for the podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Happy, what's today, Wednesday?
Today is Hump Day.
Hump Day Wednesday. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode. Hernan Cias here, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host,
the insurance bro, James Cias with Pipeline Insurance. And man, we are excited today. First of all, love that it makes everybody laugh. Thank you for joining us on the Business Bros. But coming to us all the way from Tampa, Florida, with a quick hop, skip, and a jump through Anaheim, with the Magnetic Media Group. Thank you so much for joining us today, Amanda Trobinski.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here.
Amanda. No Zoom call. Right? Because okay, look, I'll stop there real quick. Quick. Promos. 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. He'll hop on that orange Harley right over there and pick those bad boys up. And if you are not busy on August 24th, or maybe you want to be busy, stack up some community service hours or just come out and have some fun with us. We're doing a beach cleanup in IB from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So come join us. Bring your water guns because I'm going to soak you. You can soak me. It'll be a good time. Cool. My 2 promos real quick. See that? Because I wanted to get to what we're talking about. You are from Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
And you're here live on the podcast.
I wanted to be in the studio.
What?
I mean,
Dude, that is literally the coolest thing all the way across the country in studio. Thank you so much.
you are most well. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to lie to you guys and say she did it just to come on the show.
That's right.
That's not really the case.
Well, what good is lying if you're going to tell the truth right afterwards?
I can't help it. It's the internet. Like, you can't lie to the internet. That'll always catch you up.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. I saw this really funny thing. It was like Murphy's Law says that if you post the wrong thing on the internet, you will automatically, somebody will get you the right answer. And the very first comment, that's not Murphy's Law, that's Dante's Law or whatever.
I see. Correction made.
Case and point.
So, Amanda, what are you in town for?
So there's actually a real estate event going on up in Anaheim, and I was already scheduled to be at that. So, whenever we had connected and decided to go forward with the podcast, I was like, hey, I'm going to be in California anyway.
Let's do it.
It's a few hours down to the studio. Let's do this. Let's do it live in the studio.
Then, I mean, Anaheim to here was it's what, $1.45 or something like that, an hour 45 minutes or so. So thank you for making the drive.
Sure
awesome.
thing, man.
All right, Amanda, I want to know all about what you're doing. You're at a real estate convention or a real estate event. What are you doing at a real estate event?
Because all I do is lead generation. So I do lead generation specifically for small business owners. But part of that, my whole business is focused on kind of like the online space and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But you're never going to remove the relationship aspect of that. So I love going to events. This particular one is for real estate, but anywhere where I can come in contact with small business owners and have one-on-one conversations, see what it is that, is driving their businesses, what sort of issues are they running into, all those sort of things. I want to hear it straight from the person's mouth. I want to see what's going on out there.
Building those relationships, because it's still a business, right?
It is.
So you still have to have some of those connections with people. I want to know a little bit how you decided to go into lead gen with the online space. Like, how did you decide to work your way in that angle? Were you doing something before similar?
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's definitely been an evolution of what I've been doing when it comes to business. So I've always kind of been a processes and finding the most efficient way to do something. That's just...
You're a systems person.
Oh, yeah. It's like that's in my DNA.
We're
going to
be good friends.
I am. Yeah. When it comes to like your checklists and how to, top down, how to get something done. Oh, yeah. I've been that way since I was a kid. And I always knew I wanted to do something in business, but, I couldn't quite put my finger on like what that was going to be. Mm-hmm. So this has been... not going to date myself, but it's been a lot of years ago when I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and this is like right after high school, and she was like, oh, well, I'm working in my dad's office, and I was like, what are you doing in your dad's office? She's like, oh, well, things are a mess, and I'm like, man, your dad is really successful in business. That doesn't make any sense to me. How can things be a mess? And she's like, well, yeah, he does really well, but like contracts aren't getting done correctly, and like stuff's falling through the cracks, and he could be getting more deals, but things are a mess. And I was like, my brain instantly started triggering like, he's missing the processes. Like he's missing that level of like, you know, the checks and balances, making sure everything's getting done. And
do you have OCD?
I mean,
I just wonder, like does it go hand in hand? Like, if I was to walk into your house, right? Does everything have its proper place?
Yeah,
it's in its right spot. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I mean that personality trait, that's what you're talking about here, right? That's what transcends. You're gonna walk into somebody's business, whether you physically see it or not, the cluster of paperwork or everything laid out. When you walk in, you're like, oh, I can't deal with this. You can't breathe. Let me fix you.
Yeah, let me fix it. Let me just fix it all, and you'll be good after this. So that's kind of where it started, was just kind of seeing that there was definitely a need within the marketplace for more structure, systems, processes, things like that, that it doesn't come as naturally to everyone as I thought it did. I thought everybody had their stuff like color coordinated and stuff. Like, why would you not have everything color coordinated?
Look at that.
It only makes sense. Come on.
Does. So that's where things kind of started. And it was, you know, back in the day, it was, you know, just kind of going in and figuring out what somebody needed. Did they just need a website? Did they just need a CRM set up? Did they, you know, just need a better process for their organization and their files and getting their contracts situated and things like that? Was it just a tactical thing? And after some years of like putting those things in place, it just kind of evolved into, you know, because back then there weren't, you know, Facebook ads wasn't a thing that many years, exist, back then.
So you're about my age. Okay, keep going.
And then, so it just kind of evolved as, you know, I was figuring out more and, you know, what does the client need? So once you have some of those initial, you know, holes in the funnel plugged, as far as, you know, you got your basics, your infrastructure's underway and all cleaned up and things like that, your follow-ups in place. All right, now people are ready to kind of turn up the volume on the front end. How do you get more inbound people coming in the front door? How do you turn that sales volume up? Which started leading into, okay, how do we get more leads people on the front end? And I'm like, oh, all right, you want to know how to get leads? Like, I'll figure that out too. Why not?
I wonder, even coming in like to an office and helping, you know, straight things up, basically, right? Like, you can easily get trapped in being an employee for somebody, like working for somebody direct. How did you maintain, you know, growing as a business and not getting trapped into the day-to-day minutia in a company when you're trying to clean up their day-to-day?
Yeah, so a lot of it came down, even for myself, is going back and focusing on the process. So I can only be so effective in my role of serving small business owners if I'm doing, you know, if I'm tidying physical papers in their office, I can only be so effective to so many people. If I, you know, back it out and look at the process, where can I make the biggest leaps for business owners and serve more of them at a time, it's going to be making sure their automated processes are set up. You know, how can I go in and have my own systematic process for going through their CRM, making sure things are set up for autoresponders, making sure they're, you know, whatever their inbound sources, whether it's leads hitting their website, whether they're using lead ads on Facebook, whatever their, you know, 1-800 numbers, whatever their inbound source is, making sure it's properly linked to their follow-up campaigns, or there's, you know, properly getting ported to the correct salesperson. That's where I can make a huge change and, you know, have a huge effect on their business. But have my own systematic process for it to make sure I'm not like, you know, they're not expecting me to show up in the office and, you know, tidy up their outbound mail or something.
I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of people who have a lot of different strengths and a lot of different weaknesses. And oftentimes people who are really good at talking to other people and getting deals done are not always the best at getting things organized.
Correct.
Right?
For sure.
So what kind of hurdles have you had when you sit down and talk to a real estate agent and they're like, they fall in love with you. They're like, you're exactly what I need in my business. Please come with me. Like, how does that process like work? How do you sit down with them? What do you go over exactly? What are you looking for in a particular client? Because it's got to be a mutual thing, right?
It definitely does. Yeah, it does have to be mutual. Absolutely. So when I'm going in, honestly, initially it's just trying to figure out where the holes are within their particular process. And that's different from business to business. So some people, they might be really good at relationships once they've met somebody. So they might be really good, like you were saying, people have really good people skills. And if they do, they might be out meeting people at networking events and things like that. But maybe every other version of their lead generation is non-existent. So this part's strong, but they're just missing the 4 other legs of the inbound stream type thing. Other agents, maybe they have inbound lead generation going really well, but nothing's coming out of the back end. So we're like, okay, there's something missing in your conversion. You're either not following up, you're letting stuff fall through the cracks, like
Are you helping them in that aspect, like, or is it just in the process section? In other words, you find somebody who's really good at maybe helping and maybe lead gen, but they're not very good at follow up. Are you helping them in the follow up process, or maybe they're good at following up, but they're horrible at starting the lead gen?
Yeah, so it's different for each person. I definitely have skill sets that kind of lend to the various aspects, but it just depends on what piece is missing for them. So if their lead gen is good, then I'll look at some of their back end processes. A lot of the times, and I won't say it's awful to say, but sometimes you get in and I'm like, okay, great. Like, what's happening once you meet them? What happens? Like, you exchange cards, you met, what happens? And they're like, there's a pile on my desk with the cards. I'm like, great. So are you like calling them once every 2 weeks? You shooting them an email? And they're like, well, the cards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah,
they're gonna grow into trees.
They're just gonna be chilling there, and they're dusty. I can see from here. So for some people, it's just a matter of honestly just plugging in some sort of, autoresponder CRM. Here's what you need to do. Like, I'll, pick the one you like. I'll go in and set it up for you, and we'll plug in some basic, touchback sequences. So at least people are getting some initial communication from you to start that relationship building process. My biggest thing I always tell people whenever I'm talking to them, whether it's on automated lead generation or automated conversion, because I'm all about systems, process, making things easier, more efficient, there's still going to be a relationship there. Mm-hmm. Like, anytime, if I ever get on the phone with someone and they're like, all right, like, I just want you to automate everything. I'm like, I can automate a lot. But closing checks are not just going to start showing up.
That's what I was going to say. So in other words, you want me, I'm going to hire you. You're going to bring me checks and we're going to have a good relationship.
Yeah, I'm like, that is not the reality of the situation. Like, let's just be perfectly clear and transparent right from the go. Automation definitely has a place to allow business owners to like scale and, get more volume, make things more efficient, and can definitely help when it comes to nurturing parts of the relationship that might not be, if you're already busy, knowing to send Sally email number 2 and, Joe over here email number 5, like you can't do some of that stuff manually. So systems can definitely help fill the holes in your sales funnel that are leaking, but it's never going to replace relationships that you have with people.
But it does free up the time for you to build those relationships,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So it's taken away from, I don't have to worry about, I'm assuming here, tell me if I'm wrong, I don't have to worry about them receiving a text message, them receiving an email. They're being contacted on a regular basis, but we still have scheduled phone calls to meet up with them, or scheduled lunches or listing appointments or whatever it's going to be. All that still has to be done. Yeah,
and when the person is responding to any of those automated sequences, when they reply back to an email or they text back from one of the, an automated text sequence, you still have to be there to, pick it up. The system can only do so much, but when that person is ready to take the next step, you got to be there ready to, pick up the baton and go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let me ask you, a lot of these automated processes, I'm assuming lead gen, you've worked your way into like paid advertisement, right?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your experience in paid ads. Did you just decide, this is a good thing and let me learn it from scratch? Because there's a lot of people who want to get into the paid ads thing. They just don't exactly know, what's a good piece of content? How do I film a video? Like what works, what doesn't work? What kind of tips can you give us for that?
Oh, sure. So I absolutely love paid ads. Now, the reason for that, back in the day, you could get organic reach, and that was really cool when you could get free traffic.
Thank you.
Free traffic's cool, but that didn't last. So now that, a lot of the really good platforms that have all the eyeballs, that have all the demographics on the people you want to reach, it's definitely a paid way to get in front of people. That being said, I definitely, as there was an interest from my own audience of, okay, thanks, you fix this, this, and this, how do I get more volume on the front end? I'm like, oh, I need to go figure that out then. If that's what people want, that I'm going to go figure it out. And at the time, Facebook ads were just kind of coming into the marketplace as being this new fresh thing. So, I went to the biggest names in the industry to figure out, all right, go to all kinds of tech conferences, learn from people that are doing it. Going to all these different places to not only learn from people that are doing it, but get on as many phone calls as you can with the Facebook reps, which back in the day was way trickier because they were non-existent back then.
You really had to track them down.
You really did.
Beyond Facebook groups.
Yeah, for sure. But really just dedicating not only the time and the money to go through all of these trainings to just learn as much as I could and then just dive in there.
And do it.
And just do it. And then learn from your own split testing and your own stuff exactly what's going to work and what's going to, you know, return the best ROI for your clients.
Are you seeing anything like specific? You know, I have people ask things like, should I do like a Facebook, like on the mobile side? Should I do it in Instagram stories? Should I do both? Is a video better? Should I do an image? Should it be like a send messenger? You know, there's all kinds of different ways that you can do paid ads. Are you seeing the trend on what's working well with the realtors right now?
Sure. So, and a little of this will come down to what the individual agent is looking to do. I was talking to an agent probably a week and a half ago, and when I was getting into the conversation, it's like, what is, you know, I want to know how you want your business to function, because I don't want to build something that isn't, you're not going to follow up with anyway.
Here's a car you don't want to drive.
Yeah, exactly. Because I love Facebook lead ads. It's a type of ad specific to the Facebook platform where instead of driving traffic to your website, the person can opt in directly on Facebook, and it'll like pre-fill their information into the form. Your cost per lead typically goes down because there's just that, there's a lot of like psychological factors that go into that. When people's information is pre-populated, there's not as much fear about opting in because they're like, oh, I'm not really giving you my information. You already have it.
You already have it. Yeah.
You get a lot less of fake info because it's their Facebook info that got populated.
Yeah.
And
that's what they use. That's how they get alerts and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love using the Facebook lead ads, which is what I was going to recommend to this particular person. I was like, oh, that's great. You can use a third party integration to like automatically port it to your CRM or your autoresponder. You know, cost per lead is really good when you're doing this. You don't need to worry about like your website copy and stuff because it's super concise within the ads platform, all these good things. But I was like, okay, it's going to port their info into your CRM. You'll get their email address. You'll get the phone number. And I was like, oh, the phone number's okay, but I don't really like email. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, explain what you mean about like you don't like email. It's like, well, I don't like to be on my email that much. Like I'm in Facebook, but I don't like email. Like, well, if you don't like email, I don't want to generate a lot of email leads for you. Like you're not going to get the notices. Oh yeah, I know, right? But again, I don't want to build something that you're not going to use or follow up with the people properly. So I was like, all right, instead of doing that, let's drive them, like, do you use Messenger? And he loved Messenger. Like, I'll be in Messenger all day. Cool. We're going to drive them to send you messages instead.
Yeah.
I was like, so, you know, the conversion, we're still testing to see, you know, cost per lead wise, how that's going to pan out and what the conversion rates are going to be. But I was like, you know, if that's the platform you're in and you're comfortable with, let's drive them to Messenger instead and have people interacting with you that way. It's like, oh, okay. I'm like,
yeah,
cool.
That's almost an instant, you know, like communication there. Now you're getting a direct alert. Somebody who's interested in something, they can set an appointment. They're probably just a better people person than trying to communicate via email.
Yeah, email,
I can understand that. I think it's like almost a generational thing. Like I don't have email. I've never had email since the 90s.
Which is baffling to me because I'm like, I'm in email all the time.
Right? Well, how did we communicate?
And I'm like, how did you get to me?
Well, okay, so on the lead ads, is there a difference between like a short form lead, like where they fill out minimal information, or can you set it up so that you ask multiple questions, like pre-qualifying questions?
So there is a lot you can do within the lead ads. You can ask a ton of questions. You can add your own questions, and Facebook will let you add just a ridiculous amount of information that they know about all of us, which again gets creepy from an end user perspective, but from a marketing perspective, you're like, wow, look at all this stuff I can get.
You can narrow down your target.
Yeah. So the only thing to that is that you will see a decrease in the number of opt-ins you're getting if you start asking for a ton of information that you may not necessarily need. And I always recommend whenever I'm working with real estate agents, like if you're asking, you know, if you're going to send them a list of homes, or you're going to, send them something short and easy, always ask for name, email address, and phone number. You know, so at least you have 2 points of contact, ways of getting in front of them. If you're doing something where you're either going to mail something to them physically, yes, your cost as far as your deliverable is going to be higher, but then you have a reason to ask for their physical address. So there's a little bit of a flip side to it. And then I always say, if you're not actually mailing them something and you're not giving them an evaluation on what their home value is, don't ask them for their address, because that's really creepy.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I mean, I think I try to think of these things as if I'm clicking on something, right? If I'm clicking on it and it's quick and easy and I'm getting value back, then I'm more likely to give you information. The higher the value of the thing that I'm getting in return, the more information I'm willing to give you.
Yeah, definitely.
So it kind of goes hand in hand, right? Can you add like PDFs or anything to the like when I click and give you a download, whatever?
Once you submit your information on the lead form, Facebook will let you add like your next page, and that can either just be a basic thank you, like, hey, thanks. You can also do on that thank you page a click to call. Typically that's what I do on my thank you pages when I'm running ads for agents, is that on that thank you page I say, hey, if you want to reach out and book a showing for this particular listing, or depending on what the offer is, if it's for a particular listing, then that's always what it says. But the next button that pops up immediately is you can call the agent to book an appointment immediately. So they can do click to call and thank you, or you can direct them to a traditional landing page, which would have the resource or whatever else you want them to have.
That's nice though. I mean, that totally makes sense. I'm already in the heat of the moment. I'm excited. I want to check out this place. I'm getting information. I can set up an appointment, or I can call the agent right now. Boom, done.
And it's that one more opportunity to further take the lead down that particular sales pathway. Yeah, just like you said, if they're excited, why not give them that opportunity right there to take action?
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Facebook or Instagram, where should a real estate agent be?
Now, as far as where they should be, showing up and having a presence, I think, as many ways that you can show up for your business is fantastic. Like if you can show up on a whole bunch of different platforms, great, but it's all about how can you show up in the best way possible without making yourself crazy. So obviously, if you're not on Twitter or Pinterest or something else because you just don't use the platform, okay, then don't. Make sure that whatever platforms you choose to show up on, you're going to be active on those. And I think, as many as that you care to be on is beneficial, because it's just getting your name out there and in front of people based on where your audience is. So some of your audience might only be on Instagram, or they might only be on Facebook. So if you're on both, awesome. From an ads perspective, the Instagram, I always want to say the Instagram platform, but the platform's owned by Facebook. I mean, technically it's the same platform.
One and the same.
Yeah, and you would run your Instagram ads from the Facebook Business Manager anyway. But I always keep going back and testing Instagram, because I'm like, I know it's going to start converting. If not better than, at least as good as Facebook. But as of still right now, Facebook still converts as far as cost, your actual ROI, your return on ad spend is, for me, across the board, still better by utilizing Facebook.
So you're getting
ads.
Exposure on Instagram, but not as much conversion.
Not as much conversion.
And that's important, right? Because I mean, let's face it, we're talking about running a business here.
Yeah, we are.
Right? So speaking of running a business, tell me what it's been like for you. How long have you decided to go off on your own, and what was that venture like? Like how successful have you been going with this?
Oh, so I love this business. I do. So when I've been doing, I founded Magnetic Media Group about a year and a half ago, as I'd done lead generation under different brands in the past, but I wanted to go a new direction, focusing primarily on lead generation and just, how I can serve small business owners in the best way possible within that capacity, not doing as much of the website building and some of that other sort of stuff, mostly just lead generations and the follow-up stuff, plugging up all those holes in the sales process, focusing primarily on that. What I love is just how results driven it can be. Mm-hmm. Like when you say, if someone's not ever run Facebook ads before, or any sort of paid traffic, and you say, okay, just tell me what you want. You want buyers at this particular price range? Do you have 2 or 3 listings that you're just not getting showings on, not getting interest on? Like, just tell me what you got. Like,
let's
just
start from where you are. Yeah.
And let me just show you what's possible from there. And that typically even sometimes kind of confuses people. They're like, it can't be that simple. And I'm like, yeah, it really can. Just like, send me the address of the listing. That's all I need. Like, I can take it from there. And just filling out these really very simple ad campaigns, because when you're following, again, a systematic process for generating leads, the process works, because you're using the exact same one. Yeah, like we're using the exact same ads platform, the same systematic layout of the ads, how the copy is written. You're just kind of switching some things out from campaign to campaign. And so when I set up those campaigns for the first time, I'm like, oh my God, like there's leads coming in for this property that I wasn't getting traction on. Like, where are these people coming from? Well, they're coming from Facebook, but
but you're also targeting, right? So they're coming from the area that the listing is. They're coming from the price range that you're looking for. They're coming from the incomes levels that you want. Like, there's a bunch of demographics that you're pulling from. So yeah, they're coming from Facebook, but we're targeting exactly what you, Mr. Business Owner, or Mrs. Agent, right? You said you wanted these things.
Yeah.
We're just only speaking to them.
Yeah, we're making sure that the ad is showing up in front of the most ideal, like the most likely prospect that's going to want that particular property, and that's who's being shown the ad. But it's just that extra piece of being able to leverage the platform. Like back in the day when we were doing direct mail, and it took forever because you had to get a graphic designer to make your postcard, and getting mailing list companies and all these things, and it took forever.
Streamlined.
Yeah, and now it's completely streamlined. The timeline is nearly non-existent. Yeah, because little. You can have ads up same day. So yeah, when some people I start working with them and running their ads, and they send me here's what I have for my listings, and it's less than 24 hours, and they have buyer leads coming in, and they're like, I don't understand. I'm like, that's what I was trying to tell you.
I know. I'm trying to tell you. This is why you pay
really
me. Because I make magic happen for you. Now all you have to do is close on your appointments.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. I'm like, again, I can fix the front end, but now you got to pick it up. You got to build that relationship with everyone. Now you got to pick it up and be an agent.
How are you liking because the way we met, by the way, was on a live that you were doing. You were doing trainings, right? You're doing stuff to help agents. Like, I'm going to do this for you if you want me to. But by the way, I'm also showing you how to do it yourself. Like, how did you decide to just give your content out for free? And why did you do that?
Honestly, most of it came down to there's so much that I learned from doing my own I run ads every day, and I constantly split testing to see, is there a better way? Am I going to get a better ROI if I start using more Instagram than Facebook? And I test all that all the time because obviously I want to know. I run ads every day. I want to be the first to know when this is going to start converting better. So in doing the work every day, there's so much data that I get just from running the ads. Like, I know which platforms are working better than others. I know if you do a long form ad versus a short form, which is going to perform better statistically, because I have campaigns running all over the country. There's just those little nuances to it that I pick up on, and I figured, why not share it? Because again, ultimately my goal is to serve as many business owners as I can. And not everyone wants done for you services. So why not share that information? For the people that really want to do the ads themselves, that's awesome. I want people to go succeed and do their own ads, because that's not my client. It's not any sort of like conflict of interest there. I just want people to succeed in their own business. So why not share all that information? So yeah, that's why I started doing Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives pretty frequently, just saying, all right, here's what I learned in my ad campaigns that are going on right now. Here's what I saw. If you're running your ads, try this, test that. Always test.
And are people connecting with you? I mean, we did.
Yeah, definitely. So I get a lot of feedback of people that are saying that was super good information, and I'm going to go test that and see what happens. I'm like, sweet, let me know, because if you get something different, I want to know if something's different based on, how long I've had my ad account, how much money I'm running to my ads, things like that. Like, if you get something different, I want to know if there's a difference based on.
How cool is that? Now you're doing your own testing, and they're doing testing for you.
Yeah.
And sharing it with you, so you're gonna get both ends on that. That's awesome.
I just love that I'm able to help more people, because ultimately that's what it's about. It's not how many people we can serve out in the marketplace. And so as many people can get value from the stuff that I'm just learning as a byproduct of what I'm doing. That's spectacular.
Yeah, we said at the beginning, we're like, this is still a relationship business. It's still there's the one thing you can't take away is that relationship that you're building with either a prospective client or with the public in general. So you going all the way to Anaheim to go to a training to meet realtors, there's relationship building there. You giving away free content to other realtors or other people who are interested in doing it, there's relationship building there. It's know, like, and trust, and they're gonna know, like, and trust you as long as you continue to provide value for them. I love it. You're crushing it out there.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I see you pop on live all the time, and I don't always get to hop on, but when I do, I'm like, I'm gonna learn something right now. All right, we're coming up on the Ask the Bros section. So feel free to ask James. I know he doesn't speak very much during the show, but feel free to ask James. He's in the insurance world. And I'm sure he would probably be interested in some of this paid ad stuff that we were talking about. And or me. You can ask me any questions you like.
So here it's kind of this question. So you guys give so much value to your audiences and all of the stuff that you're doing for the community, all of you're cleaning up the beach and doing the shoe drive and all these things, and you're giving so much to all of the people that are around you. But what are one or two things that you guys are looking for?
Yeah.
Like either for your business or any of the different things that you're helping with in the community. What's stuff that you're looking for since you're constantly giving?
Two things for me. One is every single person that comes on the show, I learn from. Right? I get to learn what you're doing, what's working, how it's working for you. So for me, it's like I get to plug into the education thing, like Matrix style, like just insert education all the time, right? And when it comes to the business aspect of it, we're hoping that we make connections with people who are going to use us as a referral network to buy their insurance policies with. So it's either going to be homeowners policies. Our main thing is going to be homeowners policies, but from there they always spur into other things, because once we have a client as a homeowner policy, like you said, then comes the contact, and at that point it's like, by the way, let's get you a discount. We have auto insurance. You know what? You should have an umbrella. You know what? Maybe you should, you have your business. Let's get you covered over here too. So it's just the opening the door to having a network based of people that are in business that are going to refer us homeowner policies.
And all about building the relationship.
All about building that relationship. Because again, they're going to work with us because they know, like, and trust us. Right? So that's us. You want to add to that?
No, you pretty much said it. I mean, I'm the insurance bro, so yeah, send me your insurance stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. All right. We're going to have you look into this camera right here. I want you to tell all our realtors, mortgage people, how do they get a hold of you?
Sure. So if you are on Instagram, you can find me there. Just Amanda Trobinski. That's Tobinski. Or if you're on Facebook, just look up Magnetic Media Group. And if you send messages to either of those, you will get a response from me directly.
And you can go ahead and push down like that. You have a banner right under you.
Hey,
there you go.
What do you know?
I like doing that. I think it's one of those funny things. It's like, find me. Look, my contact info is somewhere on the screen.
I know, all my videos, I'm like, I want to point, but I don't know where I'm going to put that.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but somewhere there's my information.
Look around, you'll find it.
Exactly. Amber, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. This is delightful, and you have a great view. If you guys are ever, anybody out there that's ever going to be on this show, you should come to the studio.
Come over.
It's great.
By the way, we have a pretty good following in Florida too, in a couple different places, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. We have some different agents in Orlando. We have different agents. I don't know how it happened that we got spun out that way, but we got a pretty good audience out there. And so if any of you are ever in San Diego and you guys want to come on the show, we'd love to have you guys. We get agents from San Diego all the time, but I'd like to know what's going on over there. Don't bring the humidity with you, but you're welcome to come. Yeah, leave that at home, but you're welcome to come on the show at any time. All right, ladies and gents, real quick, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. That's the goal. So if you have new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. And if you need to close your homeowner's policy like yesterday, then you need to be part of the Business Bros Referral Network. So hit us up, james@csfirst.com. We're actually adding a link in the show notes. So it says need insurance. Go ahead and click on that link. Give us your information, become part of the referral network, and then we're going to put a bunch of cool stuff together for you guys to have fun with as being part of the Business Bros Network. So there's that. Last thing, August 24th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., meet us at the beach. Let's go hang out. Let's clean up some stuff. Bring your water guns, and let's have some fun. August 24th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. I think I already said it, but I'll say it again anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Amber, again, thank you for coming all the way from Tampa. That was amazing. I'm glad you just came for this show.
Or all the way from Anaheim, even to come down.
Anaheim, yeah. That's still a heck of a drive. So really appreciate it.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun. All right, ladies and gents, that's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
Thank you, Facebook. Love ya.
Love you guys. Boom.
And